I'm gonna be on I'm on TikTok now. I'm gonna be doing yes and no crystal ball. All right, here we go. Vanilla is asking, is Hector Avilar using Veronica's IG account to look at your IG stories? Okay. I'm not going to ask about the Instagram account. I'm going to ask in general if there's anything that he's doing online or offline to look at your content. Okay, that's how I need to ask it. All right? Don't worry about the technicality. We're asking spirits. Okay, here we go. So I see what I think looks like a classroom. It looks like a classroom, and it looks like a woman sitting down at a desk. So either you have children in school, or you're in school, or there's something at an office. This is symbolic, so this is not the answer directly to what you're asking. This is something I'm seeing related to your energy before I answer the question. Sometimes that happens. Do you know what relation a classroom would have to you and this person? Anything that you sit at a desk and you are using a computer heavily, so anything like that? So let's think about technology a minute. If you are doing things on the internet and you're making content, or you're posting things, or you're writing things, you're creating something, whether it's a video, a picture, words, and he's looking, okay. I would say yes, but it's not with a friend. I would say he is looking at your things, but not with a friend's account, or not the way you're saying it. Yes, he is looking at your things. So I would say maybe a fake account. And he would, of course, be smart enough to make himself a girl. So this is a very smart person. I mean, he's not like hacker smart, because he's, I can tell he's not a programmer or anything like that. But, he's nifty enough. He's techie enough. So this is something that he would know you well enough to be under the radar. So I would say yes, he does know, he is aware of what you post. I do not believe it's the way you are thinking about it. So let me explain. You're getting a gut feeling. And your gut feeling is picking up on his energy looking at your stuff. You're not wrong in that gut feeling. But the way that your brain is trying to map out what your gut feeling is telling you, that's where it's off. So a lot of times when people get logical with their intuition, it gets crossed. So yes, you are correct. He's looking at your stuff. This person not only misses you, but the intention that I'm getting is not, oh my God, I miss her. I'm like, oh, I just can't wait to hold her hand. No, that's not the feeling I'm getting. I'm getting he's planning something. So this is either to approach to talk to you, or this is maybe some kind of, there's something going on here where a person is being crafty, like, it's building up to something. There's a reason why he's looking for, that he's looking at your stuff for a reason. to know where you are, but it's the way how he's going about it. So yes, he's aware. It's just you're not aware how he's doing it. All right. Okay. We could find out, if you want to get a reading, but I just be aware. It might click naturally now that you know that. You might pick up on how it is. So yeah. Okay, sweetheart. Thank you so much. Okay, let's see. Mariah, is that what it is? Anya? Should you major in forensic science or criminology? Well, if you knew the exact location of your moon in astrology, I could answer that like that. But to be honest with you, to look at what your destiny is in career, I would have to look at your chart, and I'll explain why. I have degrees in things in subjects that I graduated from with honors, bells and whistles, and I did not go down that career path. And I studied them for a long time. And there are disciplines and career paths and jobs that people have throughout their life. And then there's their destiny. So it's complicated. So that's why astrology tells you everything. So if a person's going to be a whatever job while they're out of high school, let's say college years, maybe after college years they start still working there, and then they go into the field they studied, or whatever. Those are changes in people's lives. Or somebody that just doesn't go to school and then goes to school. So you're asking something that has to do with your destiny. This is not what I'm offering here. I'm offering an answer to a question, a very specific question that has to do with the right now. How is this person feeling? Should I take that job? Are his intentions honest to dating? Right now, very clear questions. You're asking destiny questions. As an astrologer, I need to consult your chart. Okay, you can book a session with me. Okay, Maria will Alfredo contact you. All right. So, let me see something a minute. So this is a little bit odd, but I always say that because I just find when I gaze so much odd stuff. Okay, anyway, if you know, you know. I see the answer to your question about the guy that you're asking. I see a man standing with a monkey on his shoulder. Could be a squirrel, but it looks like a monkey. So this can be something that he either wanted a pet monkey, or maybe there was a show or a movie that he shared with you that had that, or maybe it's a memory, or maybe it's a pet he wanted. This is, it can be a joke, a running joke, or maybe it's an actual pet that he had. Maybe it's something that's from his culture. I don't know the story, but this has direct connection to this person. Now, if you are not in a relationship or you have a thick history together and it's just a crush or something new, you may not know enough about his life. You may not know about, why that is, but that is representative of his energy. Very important. Now, that being said, do you know of anything like that with him? Okay, one second. I have to block trolls. Okay. Yay! I have to block trolls. No trolls allowed. They don't stir me. They don't change my energy. I just ignore them. All right. No answer to that one. Don't see her on there. Let's see. Oh, good morning. How are you? We'll go on to the next question. Let's see. Does Rafat want anything more than casual with Angelina? Okay, let's see. Not casual as in, okay, let me explain. It's sort of what you're thinking. Let me clarify it a little bit more. So in in guy terms, casual is just you can either have just the one-time fling, or you can have a friends with benefit kind of thing, or you can have something where the situationship is different, because that's when the woman's confused on what the hell the man wants. So that's why they don't know what to call it. So it's not that. It's something between, see, a friend with benefit is just like a constant thing. This is a phase where he wants to see you. You know, like those guys that travel and they meet a girl overseas or something like that. And it's wonderful, a fairy tale, like while it's happening, like a summer fling. But then when they leave, they don't want any strings, but then they come back and they wanted to pick up again, almost like he's saying, wow, when I travel to Fiji, I'm always going to be able to call Susan, and she's always going to be there for me, haha. Okay, that kind of thing. So a friend with benefits, it's somebody like, you know, calling you just when they need, you know, friendship, you know. So it's like that. So it's casual. No, it's more like bring up the intensity for now until he needs to leave. Yeah, that's what it is. So he likes you a lot, and he wants you to be there for him and for it to be super special, almost like a false honeymoon. I call that the false honeymoon. It's like when the guy is giving the woman that false honeymoon impression, and it's just not going to stick. So yeah, because casual for guys, they don't really put the girl in that like pedestal kind of like fairy tale shit. They don't do that. When they do the fairy tale shit and they don't want to commit, that's the false honeymoon. Yeah, so that's what it's doing. Now, so which means he likes you a great deal, which also means that he is a ladies' man. It also means that he can probably have a pattern doing this with other ladies, that he's probably choosy, very picky. Men that do that, a lot of times they're Pisces, not always, sorry, Pisces males. Could be Geminis too, you know, a lot of signs can do that, but that suave kind of thing, that's very particular. So is that all he wants? Yes. Yes. And if he's a Virgo, then yes. Because a Virgo will immediately categorize you toy, keeper. You're in the toy category. Because, now here's the thing. A Virgo male, they're kind of, no matter how intelligent they are dingbats in some ways romantically. And a lot of times if a woman says, oh my God, I'm dating this Virgo, and he just, like, I don't even know, are we boyfriend, girlfriend? I'm like, have you mentioned it to him? No. Oh, can you mention it to him? And then the guy will be like, I thought you were my girlfriend. They do that. But in your particular case, I can feel the vibe of the guy, and there's a leaving factor. You know, like a travel, I want to leave, I'm doing this, I'm going on to do this. I can't sit and make roots right now with somebody. I can't, it's not me right now. A Virgo male also, if he's very active in a physical sense, and there's not enough words or this sense of I'm going to stay and I'm attaching, because they are clingy, you can also feel that they're just not, they already don't want to commit. Yeah. So they're easy to read. They're very direct with their words. And when they're silent about it, it's also a dead giveaway. So they're very easy to figure out. But in your particular case, I don't see that. Can it change? If you give him mind, body, soul, or take him to the bakery, no, that's not going to change. It's when he wants something and he has to work hard for it, and then she becomes difficult and he has to pursue her, then there's game. But if you're giving mind, body, soul, he's got all the goodies, All right, let's see. I hope that helps. Omi, does Parker still want to be with you? This is, let me ask something a minute. Okay, this is weird. I'll explain what I saw. I saw a man well-dressed. So for something that's for work, and I don't mean black tie or anything like that. And, I see him kissing a female, and her hair, doesn't really matter her hair, because sometimes I'm looking at things just to get an idea, and sometimes it's a description. But anyway, I'll explain the hair. Like when the hair's long and you kind of put a little bit up in a barrette and the rest is loose. Okay, so anyway, the whole point is I'm saying that I do see them kissing, I do see an embrace, and while they give a little peck, because it's kind of like one of those like, like a sweet peck, it's not one of those like intense, the hand is held. He held the hand of the woman close to his heart, so it's just one of those things. So I didn't feel that was him, and then but then again, when it felt like it was more like, oh, I'm getting a call. Hang on, I think it kills the, hang on 1 second. Okay, it should have reconnected. So testing, mic check, 1, 2, 3. I think you can hear me. So then it did appear kind of like him, but it's a past memory, so that's why at first it didn't feel like him. So what I'm getting at is, gazing is interesting. What I'm getting is that there's a very big sense of that you were the one, is what I'm getting at. Like you were the one. So I don't know if you guys had a falling out, or I'm not sure what it is, but this was it's almost like very sure of what he felt. So I don't feel he feels that now. So that means that there's conflict. That means that there's a heavy heart, but it's not over. You see?
Unknown caller.
1 second. Hang on, guys. The call. I gotta block this number because you're not supposed to call this line. Hang on. Okay, 1 second. I can't right now. Let me close this. Okay, sorry about that. So you're on a break currently? Okay. So I would say, to answer your question, now that I understand what's going on, he doesn't feel, he misses how he used to feel. And he doesn't know if he can feel that again. So it seems like he's trying to search in here to see like what he feels. So I would say, yeah, you know, I would say that it's in a very iffy spot. It doesn't look too good, but the fact that there's deep feelings and he, you know, he can also be talking himself out of it, you know. So, all right. Thank you so much. If you want to get a reading on him, my tarot's 25. Okay, Iola, will I ever find true love again? I don't do letters. I don't do alphabet soup. If you want to give me a clear question. Okay, Mia, will you and Emmanuel connect? Hang on a minute. Reconnect. Sorry, Mia, Emmanuel. So I get the feeling he's from, number one, it seems like a different country. There's a foreign feeling about him. So I don't know if he has a different, you know, ethnicity than you. Like, for example, if, let's say, you were born in Los Angeles, as an example, and he was born in Chile. You know that, and you know, there's a culture difference there. Even though, like, let's say you have Chile in you, Chile, you know what I mean, Chilenese, you're Chilean. Sorry, that's how you say it, Chilean. It doesn't matter because there's that culture difference. Like you know, you still have that LA American part. So all I'm trying to get at is I feel something foreign about him. Yeah. So just to let you know, sorry, I keep getting texts and calls and interrupting me. So I would say the reconnection, I do see that you will connect again, like, in other words, talk or go out on a date or have some romance or whatever. I just don't see that he's going to pursue you. I don't see that he's going to, you know, stick with it. Like, you're the one and that's what he wants, but he will be available. So if you're looking for casual stuff, yes, it can happen because I do see you guys close. All right. Emily, will Gabe and you ever reconcile? Okay. Yes. Yeah, I also see he's very sentimental. So he might have a water moon, maybe. Not all water moons are sentimental. Scorpio moon is not sentimental, in a way. In a way. They're interesting, very complicated moon. But yeah, he's got a tender moon, so yeah, I do see you reconciling. He's a softie. All right, let's see. Rose, will Jacob actually move closer to you? I'm not going to answer move questions because that's about a realtor and credit or leases and rentals. It gets into math. If you're asking a love question, ask the love question straight up. Don't go around bringing in real estate. Okay, let's see. No worries. Okay, let's see. Ashlyn, will you be successful and wealthy if you continue on your current path? The only way I can answer that is with astrology. That's why I'm an astrologer. We look into the deep life. So if you're asking if you will get a raise next week, I can answer it like this. If you're asking if you're going to have, a good repertoire with your boss for the next couple of months, I can ask yes or no. But if you're asking long life questions, I need to do your astrology. You can book one in my shop if you're interested. Okay, let's see. Maria, will Jose contact you today or tomorrow? You miss him, but you won't reach out first, you know. Oh, of course. Yeah, no, that's awkward. I agree with you. That's his job. Okay, so let's see. What is his name again? Jose. No. No, I see that he's... Mm-mm. The focus is off. So I see it cold for a bit. What sign is he? Is he a Gemini? Well, you may not know the answer to that because you may, if you don't know his rising, you're not, the time he was born, you're not. Yeah, you may not know the. Yeah. Oh, Aquarius. Yeah, Aquarius will pursue what they want immediately and not let it go. They are like the most direct of all the signs. Male. We're talking male Aquarius. More than Sag and more than Scorpio. They're into a woman, they won't let it go. Like, it's just crazy. Like, stalker. Hi, you want to go out? It's like, oh my God. Very like, oof, magnet. If they just, that means So you got to watch it with that, because what you can do is you can make your, here's an interesting thing with the Aquarius. If you can flaunt your stuff and get like a certain type of, if you know for a fact he finds you really attractive, and it wasn't just like a fling or something, like whatever. I'm not, but like if you know that he really likes you, sparkle and dazzle and go out and be seen by him and make sure the friends see you and look your best, but don't give him attention. Yeah, that's a way to reel the Aquarius back in, and he might be reeled in so much, and when you play hard to get, ooh, that got him. Will he eventually, though, reach out, since you said it's cold for a while? I don't know. I'd have to do a reading. I don't believe so, based on the energy that I see now. And knowing the Aquarius sign, being an astrologer, love astrologer, and knowing the Aquarius sign. But I don't answer those things because I'm not doing a reading. I'm very thorough. Let's see. He's been asking for your number, but you keep telling him no because you're nervous. Okay. So that's why I'm saying, give me 1 second. Give me 1 second. Okay. You're conflicting your own question. I don't know if you're trying to be, I'm not trying to be rude, but I am very direct. I don't apologize for my directness. You are contradicting yourself. You're saying in your question, you miss him, but you won't reach out, first. So you miss him and you won't reach out, but then you're saying that he's asking you for your number constantly. That's why I don't really answer the question the person gives, because people can be deceptive and say one thing and then play and toy. Are you a female Scorpio? Anyway, so that's why I don't focus on the question people ask. I just give you the answer. So the answer that I'm at, in other words, let's say that you asked something to be deceptive, which it sounds like you did. You're saying one thing, then you play with another. That's why I just focus on the answer. And the answer doesn't change. I see that there is a person, I didn't describe what he was doing, but the answer that I have for you is that it goes cold. There's a detachment. So that's your answer. If you want a reading, you can book one. All right? That's why a lot of people say, do you have can you answer my question? I don't really focus on the question because people deceive. And I don't trust anybody or anything, not even for a second. And if they think that, they sound really honest, they're probably not. So I read the energy of the person and I give them an answer. And that's the answer. If they want a reading, they can book it. Okay? All right, here we go. But you see what I'm saying, right? You miss him and then, you don't want to reach out. But then you're saying that he's begging you for your number. It doesn't make sense. It goes cold. So, All right, let's see. Jose, will you be in a relationship with Leslie this year? All right, let's see. Leslie, Jose. So I do see that she's very much into like a certain type of cause. I don't know if she's like a tree hugging hippie. I don't know if she's an environmentalist. I don't know if there's something, if she's a student or belongs to some kind of, philanthropic cause. There's something environmental about her, like caring about animals or human rights or people. There's something about her like that. She's very into her own thing, like strongly feeling about a cause or a movement or something like that. She's very well read. There's something intense about her. And I do see that she's very independent. I don't see that she's, the type of, sitting down damsel in distress, I need a boyfriend kind of thing. I see her very strong on her path of what she's doing. So that's the answer for you. The answer is that I see an independent energy, which means logically, if you take the message that I'm giving you, the answer, if we had to squeeze a yes or a no, it would be no. But logically thinking, if you make yourself connect to her direction, then you can sculpt it into a yes. You understand what I'm saying to you? So the energy that I'm seeing with this woman is independent energy. That means she's not sitting there going, oh my God, I need a man, I need a date. No, it's not. She's very much into her own things. She's very in love with what she does. She has a lot of things that she does. She reads, she's involved with things. She's a very busy mind, very busy person. So she's not focusing on her love life. She's focusing on her stuff, her family, her things. Very, very heartfelt energy. So yeah, you got to work harder. All right. Okay. I didn't see anything angry or anything like that, but yeah. Okay. Let's see. Does T love you? Ty. Is that who Ty is? Your name is Ty and you're asking about T? I don't do letters. A, B, C, D, E, F, G. No, I don't, just straight up. Okay. Let's see. Ashley, did Ryan get upset when he saw your Snapchat posts? Let's see. Nope. Nope, not upset at all. Taurin, is Austin your soulmate? I have to read your chart. I have to find out if you are his and if he is yours. That's my specialty in astrology. Okay? Your soulmate will be on your chart. And the hope is that it matches. So I will tell you who your soulmate is, and I can also describe who he is. I don't mean by physical appearance, because your physical appearance is on your chart. The physical appearance of the man is not on his chart, and that doesn't matter because there's deeper information that you need to know about the soulmate. Like his career, the description of his career, the description of who he is to the core. That is in the chart. That's better. Now in the female, in the male, I should say, the interesting career path of the female is on there. So yeah, anyway, if you're interested in my love astrology, you can book it. That's where the answer is. Okay, let's see. Taurin, you're a Gemini and he's a Scorpio. Okay. And what is your question? Remember, these are yes and no. Peter, does Stacy see your worth and value now that you are not together? Okay, I think I understand what you're asking. Peter, what's Stacy? Okay. I see a woman looking at a man who is like I don't like to use the word depressed because that's a clinical term, but you get the feeling. Down, I guess you could say, having the blues, and sleeping a lot, down, not a lot of energy, emotionally drained. So if this is what she felt you were like, or something to that effect, this is prominent in what she's held to with what she feels. So this means that she feels relieved that you are no, you and her are no more. So this would be no. She does not say, "Oh my God, he was so wonderful. I just I miss him. He's so amazing." No, she's like, yeah, I needed a new chapter. That's what's going on there. All right. Will Q be financially stable soon? I don't do letters. If he works hard and saves, he could be financially stable. It's a math question, not a spiritual question. If you want to know about your vocation and your profession, you can book astrology with me, which, that's a destined thing. That's a fair saying. What are you meant to do, and where your wealth will come from. Yeah, that's definitely in the chart. All right, let's see. Aquarius, will you get the ideal relationship you've been waiting for soon? Okay, fair enough. I see you rejecting someone who's interested in you, but you're not interested in them. So based on that, no. Lets me know that you are handling your love life with too much scrutiny. So there's something you're not seeing. There's something that you are not, some people are too judgmental. The vibe they're giving off is off. There's something that you are causing where you're straining the vibe you're giving out. And that's what that lets me know, okay? So one of the best things to get clarity besides the spiritual path, because I'm telling you the spiritual meaning. But let's say you didn't believe in readings and you were an atheist and you didn't believe in spiritual stuff or whatever. Then go to the people that surround you. The people that surround you are going to be an anchor for it. See, a lot. You can't follow the advice of the people that love friends and family. You got to follow your own intuition. But they are a great filter. They're a good support group when you're down because they know you. And they're the first ones that'll say, yeah, you're doing this and this wrong. A lot of times a pattern of criticism is very constructive. So if you ask the people that are around you, if they've critiqued something that you've done, you're going to see a pattern from person to person. And that can be a reflection of an authentic truth if you don't want to believe the spiritual one. All right. But I'm telling you, you're off in what you're doing. All right. Let's see. Kobe, is Fernando happy about your union? Okay. Oh, yeah, you did. So your boyfriend, he's your boyfriend? Oh, or maybe you're saying that you had like a smoochies date or something. Are you asking about like your, like, is he happy that you're boyfriend, girlfriend, or is he happy that you were romantic? You know what I mean? Because that's a different question. Because one is him planning on, like you can see like well, let me just ask on him. You don't have to answer that. Let me just see what it shows with him, and then you can take it either way. So we're gonna ask about Fernando and Kobe. So ask about Fernando and Kobe. Like, you see what I'm saying? Oh, okay. So he hasn't said the golden words, and you're not worried about that first moment. I got you. So it's more like, where's it's going? It's going 3 months now, and he hasn't said the golden words. What the hell's wrong with him? I got you. Okay. Let's see what's going on with, wait, what was his name? I have so many names in my head from doing it. Hang on. Fernando. Here we go. I see he's very content and very passé. You know, in French, I guess, passive. Not the is not the exact translation, but you know, what is his sign, Kobe? What is Fernando's sign? Oh, that's why. That's why. Gemini males are very, slow to pursue. They'll think about calling the girl for like 3 weeks. He's already your boyfriend, so you're waiting on like maybe engagement. Is it? Is that what you're, or maybe like a promise ring or engagement or something? Is that what you're waiting on? Because it seems like you are, sure. And you feel that he's comfortable. He said, that's what it is. So he's not your boyfriend yet, and you want him to be your boyfriend. He's comfortable where he's at. So the answer that I gave you doesn't change. The answer that I'm giving you is he's very comfortable. No, he's not. No. Let me explain. He's a Gemini. So I'm trying to think of examples of Gemini. Johnny Depp he's old, but like bad example because he's like way above your generation. But in his love history, every time he dated somebody, it took like forever to get it going, and then it took like forever. Are you an item? I guess. And when he saw Vanessa, his wife, ex-wife, before the Amber bomb, it took him, forever to, like he saw immediately he wanted her, but like to get that going and move to France and the whole thing, took like a year and a half or something, 2 years. And Kanye West, when he was in love with Kim for what, like 6 years. And one day, finally, he just said something and she was available, and it was like she never knew how he felt. And the whole time, he just disguised himself as a friend. So if you look up Geminis of different generations, different ages, because you'll get it, or maybe, other Gemini friends, you'll see that they are very, they're sure, but they don't reveal. I guess they assume everybody else assumes it, so yeah. And then the Virgo moon is also one of those signs where they feel that other people can see what they feel and they don't explain it. And it's like, no, you have to describe it. And they'll talk about everything else, but not what they feel. I thought you knew. So he's not hard to read. He's just very, it's just, he's very groovy too. He's very chill with a lot of things. Very, like, his demeanor's very, he's not like fiery, feisty. He's more like, I'm good. Let me see something a minute for you, because I've seen you in the stream for a long time, and it's okay. I can ask a question. Give me a second. Um, so here's the thing. He doesn't have any plans on telling you, will you be my girlfriend? The golden words. He has no plans of, oh my God, I'm going to do this and I'm going to get down on one knee and I'm going to get her. No, not in the brain. He's cool with things. But the funny thing is that he's open to it. So I feel that if you address it with him in a way you're comfortable, you're going to see a change. But you have to, but you know, I get it. Doing that is very critical, how you do it and go about it. But it's, you know, without doing a reading, that's what I have for you. If you're waiting for that exclusivity and title, you're going to keep waiting a long time until he's ready and he just goes, oh my God, I should say something. But if you want to nip it in the bud, you know, you don't want to like do something and lower yourself because that's belittling, you know. But you want to do it in a smart way that doesn't really hurt your ego. And there's a lot of intelligent ways to go about it. One of the good things is a friend. You can use a friend, like a sibling. Hey, is she your girlfriend? No, because why do you ask? No, because he might say yes. He might be like, yeah. Because Virgo moons are like that. And they're just so, hello, are you on this planet? Force field. I know, sorry. There might be like, you know, Virgo men listening going, I'm not like that. Yes, you are. Yeah. Yeah. No. I mean, you could use a friend. You know, you could, or a sibling or something, somebody in the way to say, do something, to move, push buttons and do something. No, but why do you ask? Oh, but no, because this guy really likes her. What? She's mine. Something like that, or, you know, something funny, you know, hey, is she your fiance? What? You know, you'll see his reaction too. I think it's interesting. No, she's my girlfriend. She's not my fiance. Not yet. He might, you know, you by the way he reacts, you'll get a lot of, you know, interesting feedback. If you don't want to go the spiritual route and you don't want to like read on it, just use logical life, you know, PI stuff, you know. Yeah. Yeah. So you got to try a little. What is your sign? Are you a Libra or something? What is your sign? Because if you're a Leo, you're not going to be able to do certain things. You're going to have to just be Miss Leo if you're a Leo. You're a Libra. Libra sun, that's what I figured. Yeah, you seem like a Libra to me. Okay, if you're a Libra, then you are game. And your moon is his sun, so that means a lot of things. In fact, if you end up being, Sun rising. If you end up being soulmates, that's a very good sign that you have there. If he ends up being the one in your chart, because of you check one of the important things on the checklist of soulmates. I did a video on it, but anyway, so that means you get him in a deep level. So you speak his language. He's hard to read, but you still speak his language. You feel what he feels, and you have like this connection without words. I would say because you're a Libra, you have a network of friends. All Libras have friends, even though they might think, no, I don't have any. They don't love me. Yeah, you do. You have little groups of friends here and there. Somebody can pull a string for you and say something. But you got to have trust, because sometimes a lot of Libras are surrounded by people that are really shitty and envy them and are not trustworthy. So you gotta do something that they don't know your top secret, and they can't use it as ammo against you, because people can, if they envy your relationship, they can try to destroy it. I'm telling you, the big, the bad, the ugly. I didn't want to go that route, but it's true. You got to have somebody trustworthy. Yeah. But you don't want to say it like that. You want to be more cerebral. You don't want to tell the person, hey, can you help me out because I really like him and I really want to know. But no, don't reveal your secret shit. That's that's your business. Go to the person and say, I'm doing a experiment. It's something with me and my mom. It's just hilarious, and I want to know people's feedback, and I want to know his feedback on something. Lie to somebody and say that your friend's doing a psychology class. Make up a story. Who gives a shit? Don't give the person that's helping you ammo. I'm sorry. In some cases, you have to be deceptive because you don't want to give a person the power of knowing that's your relationship. You don't want to let people know what you're doing. That's a sacred thing, is your relationship. And you don't need anybody involved. Oh, really? And he hasn't said anything? Oh my God. Because then she'll say, oh yeah, she came up to me once and you don't want that shit. You want to do like a ninja. You want to do it like a ninja, you know what I mean? Do that Jedi mind trick and just be like, yeah, can you ask him? I'm doing something really funny and I'll tell you about it later, but could you just ask him to, to see what he says? Because I'll tell you, it's something funny that I'm doing with my mom or my cousin or whatever. And then make some shit up. And then they'll be like, yeah, I'll do it. And then they do it. And then you'll be like, aha, now we have a reaction. And then you can do something a couple weeks later if you need a part B. And you'll be able to see what changes or whatever. You'll steer it in the right direction. Another thing, I have a couple of ideas. There's a lot of ways to go about it. Sometimes you can hint something without him knowing you're hinting it. You can do that too. And then there's the jealous card, but I don't go that route because you should never play games in a relationship. I think that you should always be honest. And the jealousy card is not, it's tricky. You want to be 1000% the most honest person, which it seems like you are. You don't want to be doing mind games with the person that's your love, especially if it's going well. So that's why I'm saying the friend thing, the thing of just, hinting it or someone asking, there's nothing there. There's not, you're not doing anything negative. You see? But if you kind of get into something with him, I'm all about honesty. It's the best policy. Yeah. All right, honey. Let me know. Pop in and let us know you're an item because that would be cool. Like I said, I don't see anybody in the way. I just see him very laissez-faire, very laid back, very comfortable. So, all right, sweetheart. Thank you so much. All right, you guys, let's see. Justin, will your daughter's ex, Ethan, want to date your daughter again? Okay, I can see your concern. You're a parent that's concerned about who your daughter's dating. All right, that's not a problem. Give me your daughter. Because you might have more than one daughter, I need to know your daughter's sign, unless they're a twin or triplet. So give me the sign, and I'll ask about Ethan, right? Is it the name Ethan? Yeah. So I'm going to be asking Ethan's intention with her, whether it was in the past or current. Only daughter, and she's a Scorpio. Okay. I see a frustration with him. There's something that has upset him and frustrated him with her. In their own relationship, in their own dynamic, in their own, outsiders will always believe they know what's going on with the inside, but they don't. The only people that know what's going on deeply, deeply in a relationship is A and B, as far as what they feel as a couple. Now, if he's doing things that are, not, I can't use certain words, but you know what I mean, then obviously family and loved ones will be like, hey, that's not fair. What are you doing? They don't deserve that. I get that. But what I'm trying to say to you, understand where I'm coming from. The context is I'm seeing how he felt in the relationship as a boyfriend. Okay? There's upsetness, there's frustration. And see, here's the thing. You're asking from a mother's perspective because she's heartbroken and you want her to be happy and you want to know if he's good because you're loving her, you're caring for her, you're raising her, you want the best for her, okay? I'm a neutral party. I'm not concerned with that per se. I'm concerned with what he feels to the core. And what he feels to the core, there is frustration with her. I don't know why. I would have to do a reading, but don't worry about that. I'm not trying to sell you a reading or anything. I'm just trying to tell you that, I go about things with a tarot reading. And that's how I would see. But here's the thing. Let's focus on what I'm seeing first. So there's a frustration with her. And when he's frustrated and he's also angry. And Scorpios are usually vindictive, it's just in their nature. And they'll go out with someone else to make someone jealous. They'll do something to control the person's feelings. It's a very beautiful sign, a very complicated sign. And they can go through a phase where they're very hurtful as boyfriends until they fall in love. So they can oh yeah, that's what really hurt you? Oh, I'm going to do it now because I'm going to be vindictive. You hurt me, so how you like them apples? So they can do that give and take, and it's drastic. And she seems sensitive. So I don't know his sign. She's a Scorpio, so chances are that he's something that's very similar because Scorpios attract similarity. Female Scorpios are a little bit vindictive, but they're not like that. They're very actually very, very sensitive, but they cling a lot. And if they love something, it's very hard for them to let it go. Very hard. So that being said, the frustration and anger comes from something that he's not happy with what she did. He's not happy with something so I don't know if he wants to manipulate her, because this anger and this frustration with her is almost like vindictive. So that being said, let me ask real quick. Okay. So the answer is that he does feel, yeah, okay, that's fine. So Aries is very different than Scorpio, but in some cases there are some similarities in the way that they court. But anyway, I don't want to go down the astrology train. We don't have time for that. But the answer is he is in love with her. Okay, so it is genuine. I don't find that he cheated. Okay, so I did check for infidelity. There's different ways to betray, and there's different ways to interpret that, because Scorpio female can be very jealous, very possessive, right? Because they are very loyal. I do find that the answer that I'm being given, because I'm cherry picking this reading, it's not like a full story. This is the bottom line. He is in love with her. He does still feel a lot of feelings for her. He does want, to be with her. But I am seeing that there's something that you are unaware of. And I don't know where that comes from. So be aware of that. Here you are asking a question honestly about a mom who just wants the best for her daughter and wants her to not be heartbroken. Fair enough. But the reading is revealing that you are not aware of something. So either the daughter's not telling you something that maybe she doesn't feel it's important to know, but you would be like, hello, why didn't you tell me? There's something there, and I don't know what it is. But that, it could also be that he and her maybe they're at a different level already and you're not aware of it, or maybe maybe there's something that did happen that is not exactly fully the full story. Whatever. There's something that you are not aware of that plays a role in how you feel about this situation. So notice how the reading went from, well, not a reading, but like the message, it went from what he's feeling and is he trustworthy and should she bother again with him, to something higher than that. It's like the spirit saying she's asking a question and there's something way above it. So I suggest you probe your daughter for the story or for more information and try to interrogate in different ways. Soft interrogation, obviously, softly. You will see something pops up. There's something that you are not aware of that plays a role in the story. But yes, he is in love with her, and he did not cheat, but I do see that there are some things that caused him to be frustrated. Yeah. I hope that helps. Remember, guys, these are yes and no questions. They're just a little message. If you want to book a reading, my tarot is 25. My list is open. I conduct my readings on YT. I can't say the whole name because of the censorship on this. I'm not comfortable doing readings on this over here, T and T, because of the censorship. You can't even say much anymore. But I do my crystal ball, yes and no, on here. All right. Thank you so much. I appreciate your questions. Lisa, will you meet your long-term person soon? Okay. There's a warning. I see you meeting a guy, a little bit older than you. I don't think by much, but I don't know because I don't see the whole thing. But it's just an idea. It's just a little snippet of information. But it's it goes to the core. But it's not always not as descriptive as people want. But it is what it is. I do see you meeting a guy. It's a public setting. I don't believe it's a bar. It looks like maybe a lounge or a restaurant. I don't know. I really can't tell the place. But you get the picture. A place where people go to grab a bite to eat. It doesn't seem like a romantic, like candlelit kind of thing. Absolutely not. But definitely, a regular place. Casual dining. And the conversation is really good. He's a little bit older. He does drink a bit. I'm not saying it's a problem. I'm saying it's just, he likes his liquor. And there's something very deceptive about him. He is... I get a very bad feeling about him. Very bad. So what do you do with that information? That means you live your life, you date, and when you meet someone that you maybe is getting too close, going to your own personal space, don't allow it. Try to go to restaurants. Try to, not let anyone in. I'm not trying to tell you what to do, but this is now forget readings, forget spirituality. This is logical women's safety. Okay. Your person is probably what generation are you from? Because I don't ask people their age because people get sensitive about their age. But what generation are you from? Are you a boomer or millennial or Gen Z? Okay. So, so you are like the cusp generation between millennials, the youngest of the millennials, and the Gen Z. So you're more like, you're between the Gen Z millennial circle, which is actually like a cusp, right? So I guess you would consider yourself a millennial, but you're not, right? Gen Z-ish? Okay. You're pretty young. So 28, almost 30, but you're still in your 20s. So, you know, your person might not be for a while, or you might have already, oh, elderly Gen Z, okay. Your person, because you already passed your lunar phase. Your person might be arriving very soon because of your age. Unless you ended an early relation, unless you married like early 20s, 7-year boyfriend. Okay, so that would have been probably your soulmate on your chart, most probably. So that means that you have to be, you know, I wouldn't know for sure. I would have to look it up and tell you, you know, but it sounds like it. If you had a 7-year relationship that long, chances are that was the one that changed you. Yeah. So what I'm talking about is the there's different kinds. Yeah, that's my specialty in astrology. The soulmate that change, you know, the one on your chart. There's only one on your chart. There's only one. But then there's other loves that can come in. There's happy loves. There's loves you make families with. You know, it depends. Everybody has a different story. It's like saying, there's money on my chart. Okay. This person has it because of an inheritance. This person has it because of a jackpot. This person has it because of a lottery. This person has it because of their job. Right? Love is the same thing. It has its story. It's a thick story. All I'm trying to tell you is, you're asking if your person is coming on. You know, you're going to meet like the special person that, you know, the happy ever after kind of thing. And you get a warning. I suggest you concentrate on the warning. That's my 2 cents. Be very careful with that one of the people you're going to be dating. All right, Ashlyn, is your mom Alicia? Oh, and I want to tell you, I do have a reading called Find My New Love, if you want to do it through tarot, where I look at all the potential suitors coming into a person's life if they're proactive in dating. Because if you're sitting in your house, not leaving for months and months and ordering your groceries and not seeing the light of day, you're not going to meet anybody. But if you're proactive in dating, that's a great reading that will tell you who's coming in, who, where, why, all those things. All right. If not, if you want to look at the whole like destiny love thing in long life, I can do it through astrology. All right, I was answering Alicia's question. Let's see. Or Ashlyn, did I say it right? Ashlyn? Is your mom, oh, Alicia, okay, doing, so that is a flag question. I'm not allowed to answer those kinds of things. If you do want to book a reading on her shady business and stuff, like, you know, what she's up to and things like that, you can do a reading with me. You could book one and I will do it on YT platform. But not, you know, there's certain things that I don't do as a professional and small business owner. And then there's things that I don't do because of the censorship here. But I will not look for that question. I will not do a reading on such a question. But you can do a reading on the person and you can see what comes up. But I'm not going to be answering any kind of technical question that you have on that because I do not do readings on that. All right. And if you are concerned, you can contact your local law enforcement and they can answer those questions for you. Okay. Or your doctor or their doctor. All right. That's the disclaimer we're supposed to say. Thank you so much. Okay. Let's see. Sheila, will Franz and you be in a relationship romantically? No, I'm seeing something that I'm not comfortable saying on here. So I'm just going to go with no. I do not feel that this person genuinely wants that. So that doesn't mean stop trying. It just means that I'm seeing that, I just feel that they just don't want to go that route. All right. All right, guys, thank you so much for participating. I will be back. If you want to book a reading, you can always text the shop. I conduct them from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And my shop has all kinds of readings available. And if you book one, you can go ahead and text. I do have to go. I do have a reading to do, a private reading, and I will be back. Thank you so much. Sheila's asking, can you do a reading? Yes, you can book one, and I will I will hop back on. You can always text the shop to reach me. Oh, hey, Alexine, I didn't see. Oh, I did. I answered the Ryan question. I didn't realize it was you. I'm so sorry. Bye. Yes, because I pop in and out because people will buy a private reading or they'll book a class with me or something. Yeah. Yeah. So throughout the day, from 10 to 4, I get orders come in, and then like we'll text, and if they're next, I'll say, yeah, I'm going to be hopping on. I only book private readings, but I am in and out all 10 to 4, and I do a lot of crystal ball throughout the day as well. I only book private readings by appointment. So like, let's say a person buys a private reading from me, and I have available, let's say 3:15. I will call them at 3:15. Yeah, that would be a private reading. Yeah. So are you asking about private readings? Yes. So private readings, I have two spots. I have one, I can fit a person in at 3, and I can fit them in at 3:30 p.m. I have 3 and 3:30 is that time. So let's say a 3 o'clock gets booked, then the 3:30 won't be available because they're an hour. And they sometimes go a little bit over if the reading is complicated or if the person has a couple of questions. Not too much longer, but like a few minutes. But if you want a stream read, I'm in and out all day, from 10 to 4. If you don't see me, I'm running an errand or I'm doing they're in my shop. My private readings are $135 an hour, but my stream reads, they're $25, $48. Those are my readings, and then astrology is there's 2 different price ranges. Let's see. Lauren is saying, can I be thorough text or has to be a call? You want to? I have email readings for like $17. I have all kinds of things in my shop. I have all sorts of things. Yeah. Yes, every day, Monday through Friday, from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. I stream in and out. So if you click the bell, because like I said, I'll be in and out because of different, and I also stream on YT. So if you ever get on here and I'm not on here, I'll be on eventually. So yeah, I have to be in and out because of, I take different kinds of readings. So that's why. I'll do charts or something, and I'm not going to sit here and just type, without doing crystal ball. Yeah, and that's why you can always text and say, hey, I got a reading. Are you hopping in? I'll be like, yeah, I'll be in 15 minutes. I'll be on in 20 minutes, whatever. But then when I get on, I gotta do a little bit of this for the traffic, because then that's what they want. And then it dies down a little bit, and then I start doing the paid reads. Unless we meet right on this one, the YT, then I do straight the reading. I see you on there, I'll just do it right away. Yeah. So you're texting me now, and I'm streaming, so I can't check my texts. By this time, by 11:39 on a weekday, I probably have about 50 texts I haven't answered from clients. So by the end of the day, I'll have maybe 250, sometimes 100, sometimes 89, sometimes it's 75. It depends. So yeah, I can only, texting is for people that have booked a reading. Did you book a reading? Yeah, because that's what the texting is for. I don't sit and have conversations. Unless you're a spell client. If you come to me for spell work, then we're on the phone a lot until you get your results. I work very closely with people. But other than that, I have stuff to do. All right, guys, thank you so much. I will be back. Okay, no worries. I'll be back in and out, and I'll, if you want your free questions. All right, guys, bye. Love and light. Thank you so much, YouTube. A lot of times I don't answer the free yes and no, and I don't dart my my focus on here. I'm sorry about that. Is there anybody else that is on with a question? Let's see. Huncho was asked. Let's see. Sean. Oh, he left probably already. Hi, Lucy. Hi, Sean. How are you? When is my work going to happen for me? Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't see that. Crystal said hello. Hi. Can you tell me if there's anything coming through for you? And Huncho saying, can you please tell me more about this girl, Jamila, who's been attacking spiritually for, oh, I see you're having, I'm sorry about that. Yes, you guys can book a reading and I will definitely look into your inquiries. I'll be back. Bye, guys.